Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, just kidding. But actually, with the way things are going in this country, who knows, what's going to happen. Anyway, I felt it important to get this out because I'm seeing things develop that are disturbing and look like the giant hand of Big Brother is trying to close down on me. So I wanted to get this out just to make my viewpoint clear. So I'm going to read from my YouTube post, the comment that I made on my YouTube post. And I'm not wearing my glasses so that you can clearly see my eyes. I'm lucid and sane when I say this. But I believe all of this to be, first of all, a product of gang stalking, and then, because of my reactions to it, it made me really righteously indignant when I found that I was being gang stalked and just how far Lady Justice had been hijacked. So I kind of, lashed back by trying to take the handcuffs and blindfolds off of Lady Justice, and so far I haven't been successful. It's been discouraging, but anyway, here goes. I am being set up. I believe the reason for this is because I stood up for a mother and daughter who were murdered by our private utility company out here in California, Pacific Gas and Electric. Miss Jacqueline and Janessa Grieg. They were blown up in the 2010 San Bruno PG&E natural gas pipeline explosion. Miss Grieg was a natural gas regulator for the CPUC and had cost PG&E $3 billion in unnecessary rate hikes that consumers were going to be gouged out of. Since the PG&E natural gas explosion happened directly under her San Bruno home, my amazing powers of deduction concluded that PG&E murdered her. Consequently, I filed murder charges with the San Bruno Police Department. I then attended the Subcommittee on Gas and Electric Infrastructure Safety, chaired by California State Senator Jerry Hill. And you can go to some of my other videos and look at that video yourself. When I spoke during the public comment session, I asked the subcommittee members how they were going to assure that PG&E would be held accountable for murder and that I had filed murder charges. Senator Jerry Hill only responded after I had left the podium that the statute of limitations for prosecuting PG&E had expired. I then shouted from the audience, "There is no statute of limitations for murder. There is no statute of limitations for murder." Some members of the mainstream prostitute media, and that's a phrase coined by Gerald Celente, another YouTube personality that I like, a trends forecaster. Some members of the mainstream prostitute media then told me to shut up. I heard that in the audience from among them. You can read all about it on my blog devoted to the deceased Miss Grieg and her daughter Janessa here. Janessa, Justice for Jacqueline and Janessa Grieg, at http://justiceforjacquelinegrieg.wordpress.com. I have also spoken to the San Francisco Human Services Commission, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, filed criminal grant fraud charges with the San Francisco Police Department, obtained a San Francisco Department of Building Inspection order of abatement upon my hotel, the All-Star Hotel, spoken to San Francisco Chronicle reporter Cale Williams, who wrote an article in SF Gate about my dilapidated hotel, filed a complaint with the San Francisco City Attorney Dennis Herrera about the hotel, and plan to take my criminal charges to the San Francisco District Attorney's Office. Gee, I wonder why I might have enemies. I have also attended the federal criminal opening proceedings of the officers who violated the civil rights of SRO Hotel, single resident occupancy residents here in San Francisco back in the same year of 2010. Current public defender Jeff Adachi, who I just think is an absolute hero, released video of their crimes. My presence in the courtroom and request of the federal prosecutor to give testimony prompted the officer's attorneys to ask for a protective order, and his voice was shaking as he did that. You should have seen it. I was in court. You know, and I'm sitting back there in court, very respectful. I sat right behind the officers because there was no other place to sit. These are real big burly guys, one short officer, but they're standing up there, and they would need protection from me, a member of the public, one of the only members of the public who attended that proceeding, because they had pushed it 3 years out. Everybody had forgotten about it except for me. I've been subjected to injustice in the SR Hotel, so it was still a hot issue for me, and I wanted to see that something had been done. Of course, they're getting slapped on the wrist, but that's the way things are now. So when the attorney asked for the protective order, his voice was really shaky as he did it, like it was a really unusual thing to do, which I thought it was ridiculous. Anyway, there are many more things that have happened, including the discovery that I have been the victim of government-sanctioned gang stalking for over 3 decades, and I filed police complaints. I even discovered that most of my neighbors were participating in my gang stalking for the compensation of money, drugs, and legal favors. Quote, get out of jail free cards if they ever get arrested for the things that they do. And they do all kinds of crimes and drugs and stuff, but they never get arrested. I've had the police called on me so many times for my open carry knives, which are legal, and I'm perfectly respectful with them. I've had the police called on me by Tenderloin Housing Clinic employees so many times. It's not even funny. At least twice. I've never done anything with those knives other than wear them for self-defense and as a talking point to inform people about their rights. If you don't exercise those rights, you'll lose them. Anyway, I've done nothing except to question politicians about their wrongdoings, confront public utilities for their murders, confront corrupt officers for their crimes, and the operators of my hotel, the Tenderloin Housing Clinic, run by Randy Shaw, for violating my rights and my neighbor's rights. Gee, do you think someone might want to have me discredited, incarcerated, and killed while I was in jail or disappeared? You can read all about it on my blog, which also has a link for my other blog devoted to Janessa and Jacqueline Grieg, my YouTube channel, Eldon Brown, which is https://www.youtube.com channel, and then a whole bunch of numbers that's on here though, and my main blog, The All-Star Activist. So that's it. That's what I have to say about the situation, and I guess the chips are going to fall where they may.